Hello, good evening, everyone.
Ah, finally. Good evening, Victory.
Hello, Zainab.
Hi, Victory. How are you?
Hello, fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. I was actually
Yeah,
getting a
so
little bit frustrated at the age. I don't know why it was going on like
actually, I've been
that.
sending requests, but I think it's been fluctuating over there.
Oh, I got the request. I've been accepting, but I don't know why I wasn't going through, right? But I'm glad. I'm really glad we're able to merge somehow, somewhere. But great. So you know what? Let's start because we're like far behind. But I'd like to. It seems like it's maybe unnecessary because we're on your page, but I think it's still very necessary to this video, right? So I'm just going to start with your bio that you sent to me. I think it's very necessary that I read it out loud so everybody understands why we're having this conversation. So if you're following Victory, you're not following me, then this is the confidence series for the month of September for the confidence community. And this month we're talking about staying the course, identify your passion, and persisting until you succeed at it. And I have with me the amazing Victory Ashaka doing that for us. Yeah, so Victory Ashaka is a multiple award winning spoken word artist, poetry slam champion, linguist, content creator, climate activist, and SDGs advocate. He is an undergraduate of English literature at the Lagos State University. He is also the erstwhile president of Literary Voice Club and ex-officio of the Lasso Debate Society. He is a youth advocate at Solution 17 Global and Generation Unlimited Initiative. He is also artistically inclined with a passion for oratory, known as a social impact maker and high energy spoken word performer. His artistic mantra, and I think this is very important because it caught my attention. His artistic mantra is to serve humanity through social impact as a beacon of hope for others to find their path. Wow, Victory, amazing and welcome. Thank you for accepting to do this with me. I think it's very important because when I did my survey, this topic came from it always comes from a survey that I do amongst people in my community. Okay, so guys, what do you think we should talk about? And a number of people kept asking me, I don't know how to find my passion. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm like, okay, maybe we should have a conversation. And then I thought, who can do justice to that? And I felt, oh, Victory Ashaka should be the best person for this. So I'm really, really excited at this conversation. So you know what? Let's start from the beginning. From the basic. Victory, what does passion mean to you?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to greet everybody on this live session. Good evening, everyone. It's my sincere pleasure to join this confidence series, and it's my sincere pleasure, basically. So, for this conversation, I think it's very important to me. It's something I consider crucial in our contemporary society today because we have a lot of people who go through identity crises and they definitely find it difficult to find their balance, to find what they are really passionate about. Because a lot of people see other people doing something and they feel, oh, this is interesting. This catches their attention without understanding the rudiments of those processes that yields the results that they see from a person. So I think everything starts with passion, which should translate to purpose and talking about profession in general. So personally, I just feel that passion is just like an energy, a compelling energy that makes people do something. And I think a lot of people are still in the point of interest in any subject that they find themselves. So if you're in, a lot of people have interest in some things. Oh, I have interest in music. I have interest in poetry. I have interest in medicine. I have interest in any field that they consider. But that interest has to come from the place of passion because before one can find something substantial out of it. So I consider passion personally as a compelling force, emotion that makes one take necessary action. Because without action attached to passion, there can be no result. There will be no result. Rather, there will be no result. So passion is just that compelling energy that makes us do something, even if we find challenges, even if there are obstacles, even if there are challenges, there are odds. It is just that thing that gives us a sense of direction. So that's what I consider passion to be.
Okay, so basically, thank you so much for that, succinct answer. So basically, what people should be looking for, what people should be after is purpose, not necessarily passion. Because I feel like if passion is that energy that drives you to do things, to pursue your interest, it means that you would not always have that energy. But because you're interested in this thing, you just understand that, okay, this is my life's purpose. So even when I don't feel that energy to continue, I just stay resilient because this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Amazing. So let's move on to, I find it very interesting, very intriguing that you appear to be an early bloomer. And I say appear because I might not know, but I've seen pictures of you when you were a child, when you were a teenager, doing this thing that you've been doing basically. So it seems to me like, okay, you understood it early enough, but there's some people that we consider late bloomers. So I want to know, did you always know this thing? Did you identify it by yourself? Was it identified for you? How did you come about, okay, this is what I want to do with my life?
Sorry, could you take that again? I think it was fluctuating at some point.
Okay, so let me start again. I said you appear to be an early bloomer. You found that, okay,
All right.
this is what I want to do. I understand that you have a number of interests, yeah, but they seem to align in a certain way. And then it seems like you started early enough. You started really, really early. So I want to know, did you identify it yourself, or was it identified for you, by virtue of people who were around you, say teachers or your parents or somebody?
Okay, so if I got what you said rightly, you asked how I discovered my purpose, how my
Mm-hmm.
passion was channeled into my purpose, because I it
Yes.
seems as if I discovered it early in life, right?
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. Yes.
So 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 while growing up, I'll just share this experience. While growing up, I used to be one of those people or those persons who have this illusion about medicine. Oh, I wanted to be a doctor because of the
Of course.
prestige, the influence, and the influence around me at that particular point in time. So I just consider it as something I could do because I was really big on it, going to do medicine without really identifying what I was really passionate about the gifts, the talents, the potentials I've got. So it started that way at a very tender age, but at some point there was a transition. At some point there was a transition based on the experiences, some of the experiences I had, and the interest and my passion, how everything transited for me to discover who I really am and the necessary potentials and talents that I've got that could be in alignment with my purpose in life. So after discovering that, oh yeah, I loved being a doctor or going to study medicine. It got to a point in time at the age of 12, I was exposed to that. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so I said I was exposed to a platform whereby I was able to attend a competition which had about painting category, a poetry category. From that platform, I was able to maximize my potential in poetry. So that was my first experience at trying poetry, basic poetry, and it was my first ever Broadway show. And from that particular point in time, I discovered that I had this potential for oratory. It's been there, but the influence I've had over the years didn't make me see those potentials from that light. But the exposure and the experience I had at that particular point in time was the defining moment. Because there comes a time when every single person has a defining moment that they have to maximize. And when that moment comes, it takes sheer willpower, vision to understand that particular moment, that redefining moment. So it was an opportunity I considered, and I had my first Broadway show, and that was the biggest opportunity or platform I got exposed to. So from that opportunity, I was able to know that, oh, this is something I've got. This is the potential I've got, but I have to refine it because passion only stays at that level without refinement, without personal development, self-awareness, and detailed understanding. There will be no mastery. So it starts from the point of awareness. I was aware about the things I wanted to do, and it's got to the point of understanding that this is what I can do. This is the potential I've got, and it's transited to the point of mastery. I had to make a judicious decision to ensure that I develop that passion, because any passion that is not developed, or any talent that is not developed rather, becomes stale. So discovering my passion, what I was passionate about, started from a very tender age when I tried a lot of things, and I just discovered that out of everything I've done so far, I'm good with the art I do, I'm good with the poetry I do, and such as that. So this was the defining moment for me. When I discovered this, I just started developing it, and just still in my preparatory stage though, but at least that point of mastery is crucial.
All right, amazing. I understand. I picked up a lot of things in what you said. The fact that you have to first of all identify the talents you have. So it's not a matter of what you're just interested in. You also have to have it to even be. I also picked up the part of exposure. So it's very important that we have this first point of contact or opportunity to actually you know out. Victory, are you still there? Yeah, but it's important that we still have that opportunity to be able to exhibit the talents that we possess. So yes, that was like very crucial from what you said and what I understood. But you also said something that's going to lead me to my next question, and it's the fact that a number of people have asked me, Zainab, how do I find my passion? I don't understand my purpose. How do I do it? So I heard this phrase yesterday. It says, know what you want to do it until you succeed. But the thing is that there are not many people who know what they want to do. Some people don't even know what they want to do. So do you suggest or do you advocate that they try on every jacket until it fits? The jacket being every interest until they understand that, okay, this is the one I can do effortlessly.
Okay, so basically, I just feel that we are talking about passion, yes. So I also
Mm-hmm.
feel that everything starts from passion, but every
Okay.
passion must transit to purpose, and purpose
Okay.
being the essence of every person's existence. So purpose is the essence of your existence, what you're really created to do, the potentials that are incumbent in every single person that makes you make an impact in the world, and from passion to purpose and profession. So your passion can transit to purpose before your profession
Mm,
in this.
actually.
So I believe that trying everything per se isn't the only route. Yeah, it's normal if people try out something, because like I said, I tried a couple of things, not too many, because when I discovered my own potential, I just started developing it. I started building it and developing it to the point of excellence, because I believe that excellence should be the minimum standard in everything we do. So trying everything, yeah, there's nothing bad with trying a lot of things, maybe trying your hands on a lot of things. Personally, I tried arts, I tried doing arts, fine arts, painting and drawing. I tried literature, writing, poetry. I tried singing. In fact, my primary talent, to be frank, or funnily enough, my primary talent was singing. But presently, I am not known as a singer, but that doesn't dispute the fact that I sing and I have a fusion of songs and poetry whenever I'm meant to perform. So trying a lot of things just gives you that exposure, the level of experience that you need for mileage to be able to stand your ground in a certain place. Because you will discover that out of our experiences, we are refined. When you try a lot of things and when you have a lot of experiences, you can easily decipher what works and what doesn't work. So I tried song. I discovered that yes, I was good, but I wasn't so good to the point of excellence that I so desire. So I tried art. I knew there were a lot of people who were better than me in art and painting, but that doesn't mean that I do not paint today. For instance, my brother is a better painter, is a better painter than I am. However, I learned from him. I saw him painting, I saw him drawing, and I was able to learn from him. So it was from that point of learning when I learned how to draw from him, when I learned how to paint from him, it was that talent that opened the door where my skill of oratory is now paving the way for me. So I went for a competition. For example, I went for a competition where I went to paint, where I went to draw. We were given about different topics. We were given topics about contemporary topics about our contemporary society, and we were asked to come and draw anything we consider suitable to those topics. And that was my first exposure. That was my first exposure to art without knowing it before. But I was able to learn, and that gift also gave me the opportunity to express my oratory, to express my gift using my talent, which is spoken word poetry. So I've tried a lot of things. It doesn't mean it's not a talk about jack of all trade. Yeah, I tried a lot of things, and those experiences have given me a sense of purpose, a sense of direction that I know my major right now because I know my major and I know my minor. So what I do is I focus on my major strength. I focus on my major strength, which I consider to be spoken word poetry, and I discovered that the change I am so big on right now, the impact I'm so big on right now, the activism I'm so big on right now, I am using my talents, which is oratory, poetry, spoken word poetry, to communicate those values that I want to communicate. But all these, there are other minor talents and minor skills that that adds to this, that enhances what I do through painting, through drawing, through songs, and such as that, and it makes everything rich. And I think that is the beauty of art. That is the beauty of art, basically.
Amazing, really. Thank you so much, Victory. I was actually going to ask a question on how you're able to align your interest and make sure that spoken words poetry is like at the center of it. But I don't know if you did a little bit of justice to that. Not really, but I'm still going to ask it anyways. But I think your answer is still sort of in line with my opinion. I mean, when people ask me, okay, how do I understand my purpose? How do I find my passion? I tell them, just continue trying. I mean, your purpose will not come to you in your sitting room. It will not come to you in your bedroom if you don't keep on experiencing, trying out things. And like you mentioned, you're refined at the end of every experience that you have, like you said. So I feel like, okay, if you try out a new thing, you experience it, you understand that, okay, this is how I performed at this thing. I think I have the potential for this, then you know that, okay, this is something that I want to continue. But if you don't try it, there is no way you want to know if you're able to consider or continue. Okay, I think there's a question. Ayo Arrives is asking kind of like how trying different professions get you closer to your niche, right? Victory, can you see the question by Ayo Arrives? I think you should answer that.
Sorry, can you come again? I didn't get it. I didn't get what you
Okay, yeah,
just
so
said.
somebody in the audience is asking,
All right.
what you're saying is kind of similar to how different professions get you closer to your niche, right? That's what I think the person is asking for a clarification.
How different professions get you closer to your niche.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think there is a big difference here. So I just consider niche. Niche is carving a niche for yourself, you can carve a
Mm,
niche for yourself in any industry. So we have different
actually.
industries. We have, for example, we have the music industry, and we have those who are into Afro. We have those who are into R&B. We have those who are into gospel and
Hip
such like that.
hop, rap,
So all
yeah.
of them, they are, did you get that? So all of them, they are
Yes, yes.
musicians. They're classified as musicians, but they definitely have their own niche. So the question saying that having different professions, not different profession, what I mean is having your own particular, having your own talents, your own potential, and carving a niche out of it. Because you cannot address every single issue in the world. The issues in the world, we have a plethora of them, and not a single person cannot just address everything. We have those who are so big on mental health. We have those who are big on gender violence. We have those who are big on success, on leadership, on faith, on discipline, and such as that. So we can classify them as, maybe we can classify a group of people as singers, but they definitely have their own niche. We can classify a group of people as maybe as preachers or public speakers, but they definitely have their own niche in their profession. They have a niche in their profession, and that's what definitely stands them out from the crowd. Because when you share your gift, you definitely have to serve it with excellence, but through your own unique niche. That when people think about this topic, when people think about mental health, what comes to their mind? Who comes to their mind? So that is how it works. So it is from the point of having your own maybe profession, your own talent, or your own skill and artistry, and when you carve a niche out of it, you definitely become an authority in that field. You become an authority. That is what carving a niche does. So it's not by just trying different professions that gets you closer to your niche, but once you discover your own unique artistry, once you discover your own unique profession, your own unique skill, definitely carve a niche out of it, serve it with excellence, and people will definitely come for your value. Did you get
Okay,
that?
amazing. So basically, a niche is different totally from the purpose or the passion. So I hope that answers your question. Very, very interesting. What you've been saying, there's something you've been repeating that has been catching my attention. The fact that excellence is like the basic minimum in everything that you do, right? Okay, so now I want us to talk about, there's some people who call themselves multi-potentialites, or people who say they're generalists. They can do a number of things at the same time simultaneously excellently. I'm not really sure that is possible. So I want to hear your opinion on people who think they're multi-potentialites or they're generalists, so to say.
Okay, so multi-potentialist or generalist, I consider that to be maybe people who are passionate about different creative abilities, who have got different skills, different interests. So I consider at least every single person to have that level of interest, because we are all humans and we are wired by heart. We are wired by the things we see, what we hear, and our experiences. So I believe that at least every single person has different interests, but your interest doesn't have to define who you are and what you have to do. If you have passion for instance, it's just similar to the previous question that says, what do you have to do, or how to carve your niche and how to find your balance in every field you find yourself. So I consider it to be that there are a lot of people who are multi-potentialists, meaning they have different interests, different creative ability in different fields, but that doesn't mean you have to do everything, do every single thing that you come across. It simply means that if you are passionate about something, or if you have an interest in something, you can still use your own skill, your own artistry, your own professionalism to address different topics, to address different subjects, different concepts, but you don't have to do everything. Now, this is different from multitasking. We have a lot of people who multitask to multitask. It is not about thing to try different things and see, find the place that you're most competent at, or the things you're most competent at. Yeah, it's a different thing. For multi-potentialists, I feel these are creatives who have passion for a lot of things, but this doesn't stop you from finding your own, having a unique niche that people still know you for. So do not say, oh, because you're a generalist, so you have to do everything, or you have to be a content creator, you have to be everything, or you have to display every single thing. Now, if you ask me, let me use my own self as an example to just to explain this. For instance, when you check my bio, you definitely find something like spoken word poet, poetry slam champion, content creator, climate activist, maybe change maker, and such as that. But if you ask anybody who is Victor Shaka, they will still say Victor Shaka is a spoken word poet. But I use my spoken word poetry to communicate my value in the area of climate activism. I use my profession or my professionalism to communicate my value in the aspect of activism, change making, responsibility. Did you get it? And such others. So you can definitely have your own unique talents. Let people know who you are. Ask yourself who you really are. When you know yourself, you can definitely communicate your value in different aspects, in different fields, and you will definitely serve it with, you definitely serve it to people, and they will still buy into your idea. That makes you an authority. So you don't have to have a sense of a title, a generalization of titles, but definitely have something that you are so good at that people know you for that thing, irrespective of the fact that you still have to communicate a lot of things with that profession, with that artistry. That is what I consider to be. That's what I consider to be something crucial and remarkable, and that's when you become an authority in your field. So to multi-potentialists, to generalists, there are a lot of things that we are passionate about. There are a lot of things that we have talent and interest in, but definitely find your own, carve a niche for yourself, and people will definitely come to you when they need your artistry, when they need your service.
That
That
particular
is what I
thing.
just consider to be. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so amazing, Victory. I was actually going to, if anybody had asked me, okay, I'm a multi potentialite, what should I do? I would have said, I think you should pick one thing. But then you didn't say they should pick one thing. They can't do everything, but they don't have to do everything. And that's where mastery comes in.
Yeah,
Because I don't think you can actually
yeah,
master every single thing. Yeah, you could just focus most of your energy on one and then use it to drive other offices. But then, like you said,
drive it up.
if you ask people who is Victory Ashaka, the first thing that will come to their mind is, okay, he's a spoken words poet. They probably would not even
Yeah.
think of, oh, he's an SDG advocate, or he's this, he's that, and all of that. Okay, so guys, I hope you've been enjoying this so far. Please, if you have, make sure that you put it in the comment section so that we know that you're still following. And if you have any questions for Victory Ashaka, please ask him now, because once he's gone, that's the end of it. I don't know anything that I'm going to teach you, right? Okay, so I have yeah, so let's move on to this question about alignment. And I know that we've sort of talked about it, but not directly. I want us to put it in the spotlight now. How were you able to align your interest in such a manner that spoken words is at the center? And then you have, so it's to me, what I imagine is a sort of circle, and then spoken words poetry is at the center, and then every other thing that you do is around it. So how were you able to consistently put yourself out there in a particular image such that you become so memorable?
All right, I got that. I got that right. So you asked how I was able to how I was able to have a visibility for myself as a spoken word poet. So I would say that when starting out, I started out trying poetry generally, oratory, and it still comes to the topic that the topic
Exactly.
of.
Okay, so yeah, we were talking about alignment,
All
putting
right.
spoken words at the center and making sure that you're so visible that the first, I mean, if I want to think about any spoken words poets, I think you'd come top three in my mind. So how did you achieve that?
Well, I'll start by saying that. So I'll start by saying that every single person has got a potential. Every single person is created for a purpose. but we just need to find that talent that suits that purpose so that we can communicate our value to the world. So we have different unique peculiarities and the things that we can do. So personally for me, I was able to find out that I've got a unique ability to, yes, I've got a unique ability and I need to communicate certain message to people in the world. So I just had to find a way to communicate that. And I just discovered that using my artistry, so using my artistry just makes it easy. It makes it easier for me to communicate with people, for me to reach a larger audience, for me to go to different gatherings, to express myself, to express my idea, because I just believe that there is more to this spoken word poetry in the long run. However, I need to start from a particular point in time. I need to gain mileage. I need to gain proficiency. I need to build an audience of people that will definitely pass the message, that I will definitely pass my message across. So I just discovered that spoken word poetry came to me as something I was passionate about. However, I was able to develop it, self-development, after identifying it, understanding the nitty-gritties of poetry, the nitty-gritty of performance art, the nitty-gritty of communication. I just had to focus on mastering the arts for people to get the value that I'm trying to communicate. And I believe that spoken word poetry to me is not just for education. I consider it to be an opportunity for edutainment. So I do not just educate people. I do not just give people information without them being able to receive it, without reception, or without being able to have a sense of a feeling after the performance. Because you discover that after every performance or after every speech, people may not remember every single word you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So when I understood this, I just had to focus on that point, edutainment, using my artistry to educate and entertain people, for people to just for people to feel good, for people to get the value, the knowledge, the information, at the same time getting entertained whenever I appear to them. So through that, I was able to focus on visibility, because one crucial thing we must know is, if you have the best talent, if you've got the best skill, the best talent, the best potential, but you do not show it and you do not turn up every single time when your value is needed, in no time the person fizzles out. In no time that person fizzles out. So when I understood this, that whenever you have a value, you need to focus on visibility. But before visibility also, there is another thing that one has to know, is that your value must be unique to you, and it has to be served with excellence, to the point that whenever people have an encounter with you, they will not overlook it. So when they know you're good, you're good, and when you're good, they will definitely need your service. You'll be needed. So I just understood that the aspect of visibility, so you are visible to people, to every single person you come across. You must be visible, you must show what you've got, you must not hide what you've got. So that was how I was able to do it when I started out. Yeah, I was doing it maybe once in a while before, but in 2020, during the lockdown, I just said to myself, if this is what I want to do, I must focus on it and do it so well that it has to be needed and useful. So I focused on it. I abused myself. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. People just overlook the power of the information we have at our fingertip. Using YouTube alone, that is a learning platform. So when I understood this, I knew that for a person to learn an art every single day for a year, in no time you become almost a national figure. So if somebody is able to learn every single day an artistry, within the space of 5 years, you discover that you begin to have the global exposure, the global experience, and such as that. So I was able to focus on the aspect of visibility, focus on the aspect of mastery, focus on the aspect of consistent learning every day. And learning every day doesn't mean you have to read a book every single day to know that you are learning, or you have to consume a voluminous book before a week or in every single day. It could be as little as reading a book on your artistry today. Tomorrow could be watching a YouTube video. Next tomorrow, maybe attending a conference whereby you see fellow participants or other people who are in your own sphere of influence, people of like minds, and you having to learn from them. That is a plus. So you could read today, tomorrow you could watch a YouTube video, next tomorrow you may go to a conference, attend a conference, and listen to other people, experience other people. You may travel and experience other culture, travel and experience how other people do their thing. I think this is the process of learning, and this is how I was able to find that. That was how I was able to strive for mastery and building to the point of excellence through visibility and proficiency with my talents. And that's why every single person, at least that knows me today, knows that I am a spoken word poet. I am not afraid or I'm not shy to showcase my work. I am not restricted when it comes to speaking about what I do. And I'm not ashamed or I'm not restricted to maximizing any platform I see. So nobody is too big to share the gift with the world. And I also, finally, I live by the word that says, if the word is your oyster, you've got to share your gifts to become a superstar.
Mm.
So yes, if the word is your oyster, if the word is
So
your
are you
oyster,
giving
you've
us
got
like a mini
to.
presentation here or something?
Well, no, I'm just trying to share my experience because according
I
to
understand,
how you,
definitely.
what you said. So that's how it is. So if the word is your oyster, you've got to share your gift to become a superstar. And that's how
Mm.
everything happened through visibility.
Amazing. So, I understand that people would remember how you made them feel as opposed to
Okay.
what you even said in the first time. But then I also like the part where you said, learning a thing every single day for 5 years, you definitely become a national figure. And I think that's where the value of persistence comes in, because we're talking about finding your passion
No,
and then
sorry.
persisting.
Before you continue, I
Okay.
said learning about an artistry every single day in within the space of
Mm,
1 year. In no time, you become a national figure. But within the space of 5 years, you start getting that international opportunities. You start getting those international
okay.
opportunities. You become reputable, and that's how it goes. So every single day, learning a skill, learning something about an artistry within the space of 1 year. Before you know it, you become a national figure when you maximize every opportunity you find that are right for you, right and timely. Yeah, you can continue.
Amazing. Okay, so I was just talking about, trying to relate what we're saying back to the topic, that we're talking about finding your passion or purpose and then staying the course until you succeed. So, yes, I think I want to move on to my next question. I was listening stroke watching an interview with Chimamanda Adichie, and then the interviewer, I think it was Musa Changama or something, I can't remember his name, but he asked her how she achieved strategic positioning. I mean, she
Mm.
has books, she has spoken at TED Talks, she has interviews, she has spoken at a number of um, um, graduation, that's not the word, graduation is not the word, but she has spoken at a number of universities. So to him, that was strategic positioning. And when I heard it in my mind, I was like, this sounds like some people I know, and victory falls in this category. Just being able to position yourself in different places such that when people see you from this part, some people on this part also see you. So was that something that you did intentionally, or was it something that just sort of happened?
Okay, so sorry, can you come again? I think I lost you at the
Okay, so I'm
beginning.
talking about strategic positioning,
Okay,
being able to put yourself in places where people see you, and not just
all
a
right,
particular set of people, but everybody literally.
in the faces of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you say, was that what I did consciously?
Okay.
Definitely. I think it still comes down to what I said previously,
Mm,
the ability to keep showing up to the function of what you have to do, the performance of duty in your unique field stands you out from the crowd. And that's how champions emerge, because to emerge is to come alive and to keep showing up. And I also refer to this as maybe to take an upturn. So to take an upturn, I will use this analogy. To take an upturn is to always turn up without turning a blind eye or opting into cowardice. So a lot of people are sometimes scared of their own unique potential that they do not want to share it with the world. Yes, sometimes you just hear those voices saying, "Oh, you're not enough." There, it's just good for people to silence those empty voices of illicit imagination that says you're not enough. That's what I live by. I know that yes, it's a process. It's growth is a process. You have to go through that process judiciously before you become an authority in that field. So the ability for you to know that every single person that you admire today started from a particular point to where they are today should make you appreciate your growth process, your growth phase. So you just have to go through it. So it was a conscious effort on my part to put myself in the faces of people who know or who have not experienced what I do, or I was able to do that. I was able to do that judiciously to ensure that I am in the faces of people that I find in my community, that I find in my own, in around me generally. So doing this, and you discover that there are some opportunities that you get, not because other people know that you are into something, but because you are able to show up at different functions. I'll use this example. For instance, if I go and perform at a particular event, if I go to perform at a particular event, I know that I might get paid. It's one of the benefits that comes with performance, getting paid for what I do. So sometimes when I go there, I know, yes, the financial reward is there. I also go there with the sense of purpose that there can be anybody in that crowd. You don't know those people who you're going to speak to. You might not have an encounter with them, but you discover that from a particular opportunity or a platform that I maximize, sometimes I get about two or more gigs from that platform. So sometimes when I go to perform at a place, I get two or more gigs from that same place because people have been exposed to my value and they have to call me for other opportunities. So this is how it works rather. It's like a chain, it's like a chain of influence. So the influence that you can create your own influence, you have the willpower to create your own influence and to make people always remember you for what you do. So if you must succeed, or if you must blaze forth, or if you must blaze the trail, you have to always show up consistently with the excellence that I've been talking about so far. The excellence I've been talking about so far is very important. That's why I've been saying it, because if you show up before your time, or if you pursue the limelight without having the light of information to pass to people, in no time you fizzle out and everything becomes blurry. So know that whenever you want to launch out, ensure that in as much as it's a growth phase that you're going through, ensure that you do it well. You do it well. So whenever I go to a place, for example, when I perform at a place, I might get other gigs from that single place, and that's how it works. That's the chain. Team Amanda that you talked about earlier on. Sometimes it is as a result of some of the interviews that people have watched on YouTube that they have to invite her to some other institution, some other university to come and speak to the students who are convoking. So that is how it works. That's how life is. If you've got a potential, if you've got something to serve to the world, ensure that you keep showing up. Ensure that you defile and silence every empty voices of illicit imagination that says you're not enough. Just know that show up, but ensure that you grow through the process and never underestimate the willpower to keep showing up.
Amazing. So in showing up, it's very important that you also maximize every single platform, because you don't know who is sitting in that
Yeah.
crowd. Thank you so much, Victory. So
It's
this
my sincere
conversation
pleasure.
has been very full and wholesome, just the way I like it. So I want us to round up a little bit. I want you to give us, we've been talking about it, but I want it to be something punchy, let's say maybe 5 steps or 3 practical things that people could actually do to avoid running in circles just because they're looking for some passion or purpose.
Okay, some points. Well, I just felt this was a conversation that I just have to come and talk about. But I think, okay, from what I've been saying so far, I can definitely pick some things and say that, okay, this is what
Exactly.
people ought to do to get to where they want to get to. So for me, I just consider according to some of the things I've said so far, I said it starts with self-awareness. When you are aware of yourself, when you know what you really want to do, and you've discovered your own unique passion and potential. So when you are self-aware of the things you want to do, go for it and start getting knowledge. Knowledge is power. However, applied knowledge is power. Now, people say knowledge is power, but I believe that applied knowledge is power. The information you get exposed to and you don't act upon, you can never get anything substantial out of it. So, applied knowledge is power that needs action. So when you're aware of yourself, go for action. So after self-awareness, I believe in understanding. Understand what you really want to do. Understand your field. Know the nook and cranny of the things you want to do, your environment, your community. If you're a public speaker, know a lot of people who are into that unique field, who are in your own unique your niche, who are on the same path as you. So when you are aware of yourself, when you understand what you want to do, what you're set out to do, ensure that you build it to the point of mastery. So for people who have not maybe identified themselves, or they've been struggling with the feeling of this identity crisis, not knowing what they really want to do or what they are really passionate about, I would say that it is very important that you just sit down, ask yourself some basic questions. That what is that one thing that you've done that people have commended you for? So on a day-to-day activity or on a daily basis, people do a lot of things and people commend them for it, and they still do not pay close attention to those things that, oh, somebody comment. I spoke at this place. I spoke during the presentation, and people commended how I was able to use my voice. It means I have a great voice. That if I develop this voice, people will definitely appreciate it. So I could diversify. I could do a lot of things. So once you discover that, oh, somebody commended me for how I spoke. So the next thing for you to know is what aspect of public speaking should you focus on? Should it be the aspect of storytelling? Are you a storyteller? How creative are you with words? So if you know that, oh, you know you're a storyteller. Okay, are you poetic with words? How do you use word? If that's how it works, okay, okay, you could try your hand on poetry, you could try bees, and it works. So first of all, just find that thing that people have been commending you for. Once you find that thing, start doing it. Start doing it. So if you definitely try it, in fact, you don't know what works until you try everything. You don't know what works until you try that thing. You do not know what works until you try that thing. So you must try it. You must have an experience of that thing. What do you do that worked, and what do you do that didn't work? What was your major point of relevance, and what was that one thing that gave you the first breakthrough? For me personally, I discovered that, oh, it was when I started doing spoken word poetry that I was earning for myself, and I was being responsible for myself financially. I was able to do things. So I just discovered that, oh, wow, this is my own unique skill. Let me just stay on it. Let me stay on it. If yours is music, if yours is storytelling, just ensure that you do it. Identify it, find your interest and find your passion, but ensure that every passion translates to purpose. That what is the reason you do this thing? What's the essence of you doing this thing? And if you're able to find that, it definitely becomes your passion. Like I said earlier on, that every passion must transit to purpose, and every purpose could transit to your profession in the long run. That is how it happens. And I just believe that there is no unique superficial formula to this thing. What you want to do, just start now. If you want to be a great writer, just start writing. There is no maybe 7 keys to do this thing, to becoming a master at this thing. There is no 21 steps to ensure that you do this. Yes, there are principles, there are basic principles that you have to follow, but just ensure that if you want to do this thing, just start doing it. Learn in the process. You discover that you get experience and exposure from doing things, from testing things, and that's how you are able to know it. So if you're looking at my own story, if you're looking at my own journey, or you're comparing yourself to the journey of somebody who has been into that field in 10 years, comparing your own day 1 to somebody's day 10 could be foolishness. So just ensure that, oh, yes, I knew that it's been about 2 years of doing spoken word poetry, but I know that there are people who have been in this field for 5 years. There are people who have been in this field for 10 years. All I have to do is to just simply listen to their works, find out about some of the things they've done so far. I definitely research about them, what were they able to do, just to ensure that I quickly learn from their process to shorten my own journey, to discover that I begin to create remarkable results in the long run, in the shortest possible time. So You don't have to go through the long journey that somebody has gone through. Just ensure that you learn through their process and learn through their journey to ensure that the elongated journey becomes shortened for you to really start getting remarkable results. So don't compare yourself. Direct comparison could limit your creativity. Just ensure that whatever you are doing, be good at it, and people will definitely come for your value. Just set yourself on fire. We hear this thing: set yourself on fire, and people will come and watch you burn. So if you fan into flame, people will definitely come and see you. People will definitely want to know what is going on there. This guy is good. No, they can never resist you. If you're good, you're good. And that's what I just want to say, that whatever you have passion for, whatever you have interest in, just try it. If it doesn't work, go to the next thing that you're passionate about. Try it, but learn through the process and you definitely get remarkable results.
Woo! Amazing. So it seems like you're actually really, really blowing my mind, and you're speaking a lot of similar things that I would have said if I was asked that question. And I think that this is very important because I've seen a lot of people who are crippled just because they don't know what they want to do. It just sort of cripples their existence. You see them, they are in some sort of rut and they are going around in circles just because they are after this big question: my passion. What is my passion? For me, you don't necessarily have to keep looking for it in the sense of looking for something.
Exactly.
You're supposed to be living, engaging in this process, in this journey of self-awareness and then self-reflection. Every single thing that you've mentioned right now are like spot on. Thank you so much, Victory. So
It's my sincere pleasure.
finally, I want to know if you read any books on purpose or passion, because I'm a stickler for books. I read a lot and I advocate for reading, right? So did you read any books on purpose or passion, and if you could recommend for us, please?
Okay. So I think growing up, I read a lot of books to identify myself. But I think one that about one or two that I can remember right now is there are books by a prominent a prominent speaker and writer who goes by the name Miles Moreau. So I think a lot of people
Okay.
should know him, Miles Moreau. That's his name, and he wrote a book in Pursuit of Purpose, Maximizing Your Potential. By this same author, he wrote a book on In Pursuit of Purpose, Maximizing Your Potential, and a couple of other books that are written by this writer, Miles Moreau. So he's a teacher on the aspect of purpose, on the aspect of personal leadership and such as that. So if you are able to read some of his books, yeah, there are a lot of YouTube videos online that you could watch if you are within your semi-active moments. Maybe you are engaged with something, you could just plug in to connect with some of those videos and listen to it. Some of the things said by this man. He's late right now, but his impact still speaks for him. His impact still speaks for him. So Miles Moreau is a great teacher on purpose. That is somebody I can recommend when it comes to finding your passion and your purpose. There are a couple of other books that one could read to really get crucial information and getting some knowledge from other books. But when it comes to purpose, when it comes to passion, I know of Miles Moreau and I can vouch for that.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Victory. This has been very, very interesting and impactful. In fact, I learned so much from this session. I feel like, okay, I'm going to watch this over and over and over again. So thank you so much, guys, for joining, and thank you so much for listening. I can see Olukayode, I can see Dara Simi, I can see Fridaus, I can see Muna, I can see Patrick. Thank you so much, guys, for staying with us. So this marks the end of our conversation. This is the confidence series for the month of September, and we talked about finding your passion and staying the course until you succeed. And we had Victory
Exactly.
Ashaka do that for us. So
It's
please,
my sincere pleasure.
to appreciate Victory, please just put, claps, drum rolls, or all those things, love emojis, fire emojis. I want to see a lot of that in the comment section right now. Please, guys, don't fall my hand because I'm going to be doing mine right now. So thank you so much,
Thanks
Victory.
so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And we're not going to end this until you put your appreciation in the comment section. So if you're still listening, please, I want to see the emojis. Yes. Peace Oluwatimi, please add the emojis, not just thank you, Victory. Add the love emojis, the fire
Thanks so
emojis, the
much.
drum rolls. Yeah, so thank you so much, Victory. I really appreciate your doing
Yes,
this because
this
it's
was
like,
actually fun.
I know, right? Fun, and it's like impact basically. Because a
Yes,
lot of
yes.
people, I get that question a lot, like, what is my passion? And the first thing that comes to my mind is, your passion is not a needle that you're supposed to be looking for, right? So that's like very, very interesting. So until
Yes,
we
it's a
meet
pleasure.
again, yeah, until we meet again next month, I say bye, guys. Thank you.
I'll smile, I know what it takes to fool this town. I'll do it till the sun goes down and all through the